web heads and web swingers and web slingers. This review is on the movie The Amazing Spider-Man, which opened up on July July 3rd. What am I thinking? Because today's July 4th. But anyways, let's get down to the review, shall we? I mean, this was a good film, and believe me, it was great. Okay. Anyways, I got this hoodie. It's not really a costume or anything, but it's a hoodie, and it zips up into a mask. And I got this at a store called Hot Topic at the mall, and they make a lot of, it's kind of like a novelty, pop culture type store and clothing store, and they sell a lot of some novelty stuff, but mostly T-shirts, jackets, hats, a lot of superhero kind of stuff. And I saw this on the store mannequin because, they had other ones, but I saw this on the store mannequin and I couldn't resist. It's really nice, and it's got in the back, it's got the red spider like it's supposed to have. And it's kind of neat because you can zip this up into, like in the winter time, you can zip this up and keep your face warm. It's really cool. And this one's based on the movie too. This is the official movie merchandise. Also, also, I generally sometimes play video games. Sometimes I have an Xbox 360. Not particularly a gamer. I don't really play it that much, but occasionally, on a rainy day or whatever. And I picked up this game. It's an Xbox 360. It comes in a it has a case sleeve, and there it is anyway. In the back, it's got it's a free roam game. It has a story. Basically, in this game, the story takes place after the movie, but it's based on the movie character, and it has stories and stuff like that, and missions you can go on, and you can free roam all around Manhattan. It's cool. It's very big. But anyways, let's get on to the review, shall we? I just want to say one thing. This movie is not a remake. I hear a lot of people say this movie's a remake. I've even heard one person say, well, a reboot and remake is the same thing. To me, a reboot is starting all over again. That's how I look at it. And you got to understand that this is the way the origin story is told. I mean, it's been told this way in the comic books. It's been told this way in, the cartoons, that short-lived Spider-Man live-action Spider-Man TV show in the late 70s. Sam Raimi's movie was, and then this movie. That's how how would you expect the origin story to be? Something completely different? Then they wouldn't really be following the tradition of the origin story. And there were similarities. There were similarities, but we didn't get the same villain. So that was something that was different. But in this movie though, there's and it's not a rehash or remake. So let's get that straight. There is no Mary Jane or Harry Osborn or J. Jonah Jameson in this movie. Instead, his first love interest is a woman named Gwen Stacy, and she appeared. In let's see. She appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man, number 31 on December 1965. Is when that when she first appeared in the comic book, and she was supposed to be his true love. And I think that the movie was pretty darn good. I really liked this movie. So it's pretty close to the comic book in a way. because the original, like I just said, the original comic book was about his first love interest, and so yeah, this was a good film. Yeah, so I think it honors the comic book better than Sam Raimi's movie. Um, and but there are differences in the movie. Like for instance, how it honors the comic book is his web shooters. He makes his web shooters. I mean, he gets bit by the spider and becomes, he gets his powers and uses them for good and fights evil. But the only one power that he doesn't have is shooting his webs out through the palm of his hand. Instead, just like the comic book, he made his web shooters with these gauntlet things that go around his wrist. In the Sam Raimi movie, his web shooters were organic, so that's another difference. Um, and the movie is a little darker, I think, than than the Sam Raimi movies. I'm making comparisons while doing the review, but it's hard not to. Everybody really is on this movie, um, and so the movie is darker. It's kind of dark. I mean, not real dark. Kind of somewhere in between Sam Raimi's movie and Batman Begins. It was that kind of dark, somewhere in between there. And also in the movie, Stan Lee had his cameo as usual, and it would have been nice if Tobey Maguire and Christine Dunst had a cameo in it. After all, they were the originals, so I thought that would have been cool. I think Andrew Garfield did a wonderful job as as Spider-Man Peter Parker. I mean, he was really good in this movie as far as that goes, and and his Spider-Man is not as emotional as Tobey Maguire's was. Like in Tobey Maguire's, in those other Spider-Man movies, Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man Peter Parker was always so emotional. He was so emotional and wrapped up about Mary Jane a lot. In this movie, um, Andrew Garfield, his version of Spider-Man Peter Parker is a little bit, how should I say, he does have a little bit of moments where he does get emotional, but most of the time he knows how to handle his emotions better. He's strong when it comes to that. Um, and I would give this movie, I'd give it a B plus. I think it deserves that. I think it was very good. I really liked it a lot, and I think that some of the I think that like on Rotten Tomatoes right now, last week it had a 80%, and now that's kind of depleted down to 72%. I think it is. I don't understand why the critics, so there are a lot of critics out there that don't like this movie. I thought it was good. I thought it was somewhere in between the first Spider-Man. I think it was as good as the first Spider-Man. I think it was somewhere in between the first Spider-Man and the second Spider-Man, kind of in that quality. I certainly think it was better than Spider-Man 3. I didn't think Spider-Man 3 was all that bad. I mean, it was okay, but there were a lot of times it was just all over the place, as far as the story went. And so yeah, and I think the reason why Columbia Pictures and Marvel Entertainment did a reboot, and this is just a theory that I have. I think the reason why they did that is because if they had made a fourth Spider-Man film, they probably would have, maybe not as many people would see it because people would say, well, it's another Tobey Maguire, Christine Dunst, um, movie, another Spider-Man movie. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all, and it probably wouldn't have as strong as appeal. And if you remember, when the first Spider-Man movie came out, it was huge, and it's because it was the first time Spider-Man was on the big screen. So I can understand why Columbia Pictures and Marvel Entertainment would want to start fresh with this, because people would say, hey, you know what, this this is a new Spider-Man, a new guy playing Spider-Man. How intriguing! Let's go see it. So I think they wanted to make another Spider-Man film, which they did, but starting fresh and new. And let's see here. Did I miss anything on what I wanted to say? Yeah, I think they're I think it was a good film. I really do. You got to go see it. I really enjoyed myself, and like I said, I give it a B, B plus. I think it was good. I think but I just think that some critics are biased of it because we all did, we embraced, the Tobey Maguire and Christine Dunst, Sam Raimi movies. Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man to us, and I think some people may feel biased against this movie because how they felt about those other movies. So I think some people are biased towards this one, and I was a little skeptical going to see this. I wasn't really sure that they could make this as good as any of those movies, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I loved it. I really liked it. So I think, yeah, this is a good Spider-Man movie. I don't think you would be disappointed at all. But yeah, they did a wonderful job on this movie, and but there's no Mary Jane. I think maybe in the second movie, he'll probably get a job with the Daily Bugle, and and there'll be a J. Jonah Jameson, and all those other people. I'm also glad to see that they used the Lizard this time because I felt that if they were going to do a reboot, it probably would be better if they did it without the Green Goblin, because then people would really say it was like a remake. I think if they did it with a different character this time, a character we have not seen yet, because we've seen what villains. We've seen the Green Goblin, we've seen Doctor Octopus, we've seen Venom, Sandman, Hobgoblin, which was that was Harry Osborn's character, and so now we get the Lizard. So if they're going to do a reboot, it'd be neat to see a character that we have not seen before, and they did a wonderful job with that. And so yeah, this movie to me is not a remake or a rehash. It's just just starting all over again. But that's my review, and everybody take care, and I'll talk to you later. All right, take care. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention. If you go to the movies, make sure you go see the movie, and or when you buy refreshments, make sure that just a word of advice, bring your own snacks. I do that, like these right here. I buy a jar of red vines, and they're pretty darn cool. I mean, because I just take a baggie and I stick them in the baggie and I take them to the movie. And at Walmart these are actually a good price, better than the other stores. But anyways, that's all I want to say. All right, take care. Bye.
Hello, everybody. I want to tell you that the next review that Phil does will be The Dark Knight Rises. So everybody have a good day and a good 4th of July. See you all.